So one of the coolest things that I found being a part of this community when it came to gym owners and coaches was the fact that I kind of just stumbled into being affiliated with and rubbing shoulders with gym owners where it was like, I'm from California. I traveled to Florida. Like, and that's where I was able to play sports. So I got to meet a bunch of people, but I never in a million years would have assumed that I was rubbing shoulders with people from Sweden and Germany and Austria and all of these people from all over the place that were these gym owners that I never imagined that would be my life or my existence when I was getting my history degree in school. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, I'm going to teach and that's what I'm going to do. And through one thing or another, I end up taking all of this skill set that made me maybe a good teacher and a good administrator. And I realized very quickly, like, there's a large population of humans that enjoy fitness that are some of the most disorganized human beings on the planet.
Yeah. Well, and in my case, like how I ended up as a gym owner and then in a similar situation to you is very much the same in that I had minimal business acumen. I understand some of the basics of the sales stuff. I got into the gym for no business reasons, right? Yeah. And I think that's important. I think a lot of people get in the gym because they want that piece of their life to have more real estate, right? They want to give more of their pie chart to the fitness. That's it. You know what I mean? I want to have more time to do it. I enjoy it a lot. Maybe I want to coach, and people start making career changes and they just kind of shift. Most people end up in kind of the gym ownership life or in that gym ownership space by these like just gradually leaning into the things that they're passionate about the most. And the next thing you know, you're like, fuck, I own a business and I got no business owning this business. You know, well, you're like, what do I do? Because you do a thing that we did when I opened my first CrossFit gym is it was like, I wanted to do it. We were in another spot training there and stuff. And I was like, I just know from the coaching standpoint that this stuff can be done better. I wanted to, I saw the problems in the systems from a movement standpoint and how things were taught and that administratively, like this thing needed to be top down to deliver a better product. And that's what I was always about, is delivering a better product on the floor of your gym, which a better product means better connections, better community, better results. That was like my driving thing. So you do all this soft math when you start, and my soft math was, okay, rent. How much do I need to eat? Do I need to eat? And then like after that, it's like, okay, how many members times how much money per month do I charge them? And then we're set.
Yep.
Gym ownership, soft math. All that soft math that a gym owner goes into before he owns a gym, that's
deadly. Yeah, deadly.
It's brutal. I remember, I tell you what, I haven't told this story to anybody on any podcast. I went to, when I was going to start my gym, because I didn't have much money, I went to like my wife's grandfather. He's got a little bit of money, to talk to him about the business, talk to him about the plan. We kind of wanted to go into this thing. And he has a lot of business experience, and in a lot of fields and internationally, but as like very much a move maker. And now in hindsight, my conversations with him were the most non-business. He had to be like, get the fuck out of here. Because the only piece of data I had were, I think I'll charge this much, and I think I'll end up with this many people when I start. And then I think if I grow that to this with no plan whatsoever, I was just like, I'll be good enough at it. We'll go from 40 members for 6 months. I literally had this like curve planned out with like no intentions or fucking not a single thing on how to move that needle forward.
And what's equally frustrating is that imagine all the things he didn't say to you.
I know. That was the thing.
And why? So why wouldn't he, right? And if you think about it logically now, he wouldn't have said anything because it's like, this fucking guy doesn't have a goddamn clue of what he's doing. But the problem was, this dude was
what he really was like, I'm not borrowing this guy any money.
Right. That's true.
I guess that's true. That meant. That's really what that meant. But you're right. You're right. You're not going to send money that matters to you or to me to someone who's ill-equipped to do it. At that point, he would have been better off giving it to an 8-year-old.
Right. Okay. And I like that. But to be fair, it doesn't matter how much information you have, how successful someone has been, that if you cannot translate it if you cannot get it to people that would be able to use that information the most or would benefit the most from it, then what good is the like? My talk about like deep things that I've never talked to anybody else about, but it's these ideas of like for me it's the knowledge that I gain, and this is something that's like deep ethos and core of like the person I am. The knowledge that I have isn't mine.
Correct.
Because if I gain all the knowledge that I can gain, if I die with it, then it was a goddamn waste. What was the point of me even being here? And so for me, it was like, when I really felt like I started having my father mean something to me and the things that he said clicked, he was 36 years old. Yeah. Now, I can't remember how old I was, but I was probably like 10 or whatever it was. But it was like, he started saying things that clicked for me when he was that age, which means as a 10-year-old, I started truly benefiting from someone through 36 years of experience and life experience. I benefited that at 10. And so for me, it was like, I got to be telling my kids everything I know about a topic to share, being like, this is what I know. Take everything I know right now so you can be that much further ahead than I was. And so for me, it was like, talking about a missed opportunity of like someone that's a grandfather age, to where it's like, instead it kind of is like, oh yeah, that's something. Like it's, it all works out the way it is, but like, goddamn, like if you have information to share
it. And there is something to be said for you have to learn it, but I think that's why I usually do go hands off with people when they're in the enthusiastic beginning phases of a business and they just know. You almost got to give them that. And everybody, by the way, all you watching, if you've been a gym owner, and you are, or at least a coach who's transitioning into this thing, like, there is a lot of pieces of this that you're going to have to just get underwater and figure out, but not all of them, and not the hardest one. And you can be equipped in ways where you don't need to be poor the whole time, and you don't need to be completely stretched. When things open up, you're going to have to fix your own toilet the first day when the toilet breaks. Yes, probably, because you're out of money. You know what I mean? And you got an extra hour, maybe, and that is the way that it goes. But I think that the main things, right, the biggest mistakes that I made going in was, one, not having a real plan, first off, and two, not having any sensible offering other than like my base membership. And then everything else that I did, I think from a business standpoint, and this is the thing all of these people that are here are going to have, is everything else that you're doing ethically, and you're doing it well. You're coaching well. You're doing everything you can to get better. And at some point, you get to the conclusion where you go, I have to make money at this or I can't get any better. Because me doing this for 70 hours a week, doing all the coaching and all of the business stuff and all of the marketing and sweeping the goddamn floors, like all of that stuff now is in the way of me getting better or building this thing into something better. And when I came to that conclusion, it was a hard one, because it does become, it's like a transition. This is a phase. All the things we're going to go through on this, there's a reason this is spelled out very meticulously. Of course, that it's thing one, thing two, make note of these things, is because you do got to make these moves in the right order. And we get enthusiastic as coaches and gym owners, because it is like, I found the building. I don't have any equipment, but I'll spend all my money on it. And I've got 15 people, or I think I can get 50, and I'm just going to do it. And it's all of that stuff. There's a part of me that loves that about people when they just jump in. As a coach, you love it, because these people come in and they commit and they want change and progress. And so it just gets us all fired up. I love it.
We just had so much information that was being given to us without us asking. And it was because you and I had this shared experience where we met each other because of StrongFit, right? Because of this world of coaches, and because of a dude that really was able to break things down that were way complex, just into simplistic either frameworks or simplistic principles that were applicable for me in education, where I came from, are applicable in business, are applicable for gyms, for coaches, or whatever. And what we found is exactly what you're saying, is that we were getting all this data. And all this data was coming to us. And it was those things, those conversations that gym owners have after they've had one too many, or
Yeah.
they're kind of just hanging out. We're just shooting the shit. It's like, yeah, man, this fucking sucks, and this is what it is. Like it's like that true like look the man behind the curtain kind of thing. Conversation they would never have with members, they would never have with their coaches, and we were having them all the time. And so quickly we realized, man, there's just like this database, this bank of information that I was getting, because I helped so many folks that were coaches, and because eventually if you got that itch, the coach becomes the owner after a couple of years.
Yeah. And that's where we get to people is they get very excited about now their coaching is improved. And they do that and they spend time with it and they realize that simply being better at being a coach on the floor that will not earn you a single more penny.
It's brutal.
Not a
It's
single
brutal.
penny more.
It's you've just enhanced your value overall of what you can do. You can dedicate so much time, so much money and resources into books and knowledge and seminars and workshops and certifications. Mm-hmm. Like all of those things that were sold as coaches of what this is important and what's not. And that transition of like, okay, so then how do we make more money doing this? And it's like,
yeah, I'm better now. I'm 10 years better than I was 10 years ago. And I'm making the same money. People are paying the same for my service. It's a very interesting thing when you like transpose that over top of this industry, where you're like, well, wait a minute. What other career can you spend 10 years doing and see like a 3% raise? What are you, a school teacher?
Right.
You know?
Right. And so that's where that's where that drive for me of what I was referencing of like the idea of giving knowledge to my kids.
Yeah.
Of like, it's that drive of deep in my, deep in the jellies, like deep in my core of once I got so much information, I had the 112th conversation with the same conversation, the same struggles, that I found it was like, you just need to be like, I can't stay here on the sideline anymore. I have too much knowledge about an industry or about whatever these people's pain points are that someone has got to fix it. Someone's got to figure out a way to genuinely just want to take people who genuinely want to help people and help them just make more money doing what they're doing. And I found that it's the whole reason why I got into StrongFit in the first place. It was like, hey, I love what you guys are talking about. You should make that more accessible so people can find your stuff online. And right, the owner, Julian at that time goes, all right, great, you're hired. Let's have you do it. And what I found was every time I found where I either had enough information to ask the question, it was like I wasn't going to bring a problem unless I was going to be able to assist with the solution. And what I ended up finding was like I was being given all of these problems, all this data of coaches that were struggling. And I'm like, there has to be a solution. And when I looked around, there wasn't anybody that was like, well, there's lots of people that are trying to solve solutions for gym owners.
There's a lot. Yeah.
But there's a huge difference. And this goes to really the core of what you and I care most about, which is maintaining our soul and our dignity while helping people when money is involved.
And everybody's got marketing and leads, and everybody's got these things where they can give you the numbers that make sense to you right now. They can just turn them up. Yeah. So you have a $200 a month membership and you have 90 members. What if we got that to 100 members? It's like, oh, that math makes sense to me. And what if you only had to get on 400 sales calls in order to get these extra 10 members?
Yep. Oh, we'll help you with the sales.
What if you had to lie to half of them? You know what I mean? Yep. If you were great at marketing, you'd be in the marketing business, right? Most likely, I would hope. There's more money in that than there is in owning a fitness center for a lot of people. So, but I think that like people turn to those things and they can get taken blindly by complexity and things they don't understand. And we have seen this in places where we've been around, in businesses we worked with, businesses we worked for, companies we've helped pull out of some of these holes. And you get to these things where things get confusing and like, oh, just marketing, pay money at marketing. And you watch. You just write a check, write marketing, pay to the order of marketing, and send it off with some dude. And that's basically the same thing. You'd be like, I don't know what I got in return. I know I spent the money. I know the phone didn't ring, or I know the phone rang a lot. I don't know how many. This is where you end up. Confused, moving around pieces that don't make sense to you, while someone just keeps taking your money and telling you how you should do your business. And it's not the way that we do things here.
No, and it's not the way, and that is the part of of maintaining, saving your soul, is that this was the information we were getting, is we were hearing from gym owners of like, these people are full of shit, or these people over here were awesome, they were great, or there was so much of that data. And that's when we realized that for the folks that we have been working with to be able to help them or pull them out of a jam, oftentimes it was because, right, they were oversold. There were all these experts and all of these people that came in because, man, there's blood in the water. Like if they, and sharks can smell that. And so folks that come out, and that's why I think at our core, like truly what we care about most is not selling it's not selling another product. No. It's not selling a software that you need to buy. It's one of these things where it's like, just take the knowledge that we have now had success with, use your own stuff that you have, and
all the things that you do and all the things that you do well, the things that you do the best, do them.
Exactly.
Why does it need to be hard? Why do I need to prop up 500 people who you don't want in your gym in front of you? Is that how you want to make your living?
Right.
You don't want that. You don't want it. You don't.
And the fact is you touched on this earlier, and this is why it's like, it's the most simple solutions oftentimes, right? Like, they're simple for a reason. Like, the reason why they work is because it's simply done. It's something it's easy to remember, right? It's something that you can repeat and be able to do frequently, and then you remember, like, you can do these things constantly. And so it's definitely the piece to where we keep finding that this was the calling. This is we wanted to be able to have simple solutions that was genuinely about helping people be able to sometimes make little tweaks or little changes, or sometimes make huge changes in what they were doing, because they had just gotten so far out into the deep end. They had been so oversold from one expert, one mastermind, one guru to the next that was trying to help them, that they really they were getting hosed. Yeah. And the best examples that I've seen are folks that you talked about, it was putting things in proper order, and they need to happen at certain times. And it was that information, I think, that was really the spark that was like, I got to do something. Because I kept seeing these coaches that were like, oh, well, I've invested thousands of dollars in doing X. And it was, okay, so how's that going? Well, nothing's happened.
Well, and that's if they're willing to say that. Usually, you don't want to talk about a bad investment. No, you want to be like, I think it's going all right. I think it's okay. I don't know. I don't understand it, so the money's gone.
Or I don't have the money anymore. Yeah. Or what was worse is the people that are like, I have invested a bunch of money, and how's it going? Well, it's going great. Like, I have 30 appointments tomorrow, or I have 30 appointments this week. And it's like, aren't you like the only coach in your gym? And he's like, well, yeah, but like, we gotta, I gotta be able to do this, and we gotta be able to capitalize on the leads and stuff. It's like, you have just shut your gym down.
Yeah.
Because you think that leads were your answer right now. It's like, how are you going to fulfill? You have no team. Like, you put the cart so far ahead of the horse that's like, was that a good idea? Yes. But just not in the order you did it in. And that was where it just was, we saw it enough times that I was like, we've got to do something different. We got to show folks just at least the information that we have. Because there's lots of folks that are just sharks that are out there. But this is, again, it's the emphasis on maintaining your soul. And it's a piece that I've talked about before, and I'll talk about again, but it's that intangible result that people are after. Tangibly, we can say out loud, right, without blushing, with proof, to say that just by implementing the steps in the right order, right, you can walk away with knowing that you have a path and be on track to directly earn six figures just by repeating the process that you would build through our system. But that's the tangible piece. The intangible piece is the piece of legacy building, community strengthening, growing where you're planted. This ideas of like making the world a better place, making the area that you exist more beautiful and better from because you were there. Those are the things that it's okay, you're going to show up because we know that there can be results just by doing really simple things and following simple frameworks. You stay because the community that we want to build are people that are gym owners that are like-minded about maintaining their soul, maintaining their integrity, and actually building a legacy. And I think that that's the biggest thing. That's a huge difference because at the end of the day, we keep seeing folks that are sharks that are like, well, the end goal here is so you can sell your gym. It's like, is that the end goal? I didn't realize that was the end goal.
Well, that's what's tough. I got into this business because I opened a gym because I wanted to have a gym. So I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to do those things. And I was like, well, now I just have to walk away from it because I've sacrificed its soul and I just sell it for money and I move on. But that was not the end goal. I don't believe that coaching is a job. I think it's a vocation. I think it's a calling. I think people find it. They find it in them that they want to help people. And I think it really is a calling. So why just make that suck so you can just do a bunch of like this very bland beige version of it over and over and over again while you don't make very much money? We don't need that. You can do a really, really, really good job of it. You can do a better job when you have more money. You can do a better job when you have more time. You can do a better job when you got people that are really, really enthusiastic about what they're here to do. When you're not racing to the bottom for your pricing, you're not playing the cheap game. You're not getting rough leads off the street that are coming in and people who just don't value the things that you do. You want to be in a position where people are valuing you, paying you for that value, and you can really deliver that value. That's the piece you want to be able to keep doing, and everything else we can move around. And I think there's a lot of things that can be dropped in place and adjusted and picked around. And these things that you're going to go through over this next, what are we talking here? How many weeks are they running through here at this? It's kind of self-paced, but what are they over the next few months?
It certainly can take a few months. The reality is we're going to see folks that are going to be under 30 days are going to be able to pay for the course back. They're going to get their money back in under 30 days. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, certainly
30 days.
Right. Certainly what the first folks that we've had go through, they've recouped, like they were hungry and they ran quickly and they made their money way back, like fast, very fast. They got their money back. So that's where it's built to teach you the thing, teach you to take action on the thing, and then how to be able to make money with that thing. Because I felt like that was always a piece that was missing. That when we heard from gym owners, they were getting all this knowledge, but then there was no practical application of what I do next. And it's like, you've got to be able to now make money doing this thing, but don't have it be something where you got to reinvent the wheel. It's just plug it right into your system.
Well, and your metrics for success should still be delivering a quality product and having a good day and a business that you like. Don't let it turn into something that you never wanted it to be.
As a gym owner, why did you get into this game? Why did you get started? If your origin of why you started sounds anything like why we started, why we felt a calling, like you said, we felt a calling to jump into a vocational type of situation where it's like we have more to give, it can be done better, and I want to take charge and jump into this thing with both feet. If that origin story matches, then it's in everyone's best interest for you to be able to reach out to us, go into our avenues, to be able to shoot us a DM, go to the links in our link tree, go to the places to be able to reach out and take that next step. Because if we match as a core in our ethos, then that knows you're on the right track.
What's the first steps here, John? As far as for what do we want people to jump into right now?
Just go to the link in the link tree is the best spot. If you go in, they'll be able to click, or it's always easy. You shoot us a DM just on the page, on any of our accounts. We will make our accounts known for just our personal accounts. We also have that community. So we have our the gym owners podcast, right? Our gym owners community, the movement Facebook group is a great spot to be able to have folks come into. You don't need to be buying a product to be involved, right? It's free to enter, and you have a community. And this is where we're having these open conversations and sharing. And just this was the piece that I always wanted to have, the intangible part of a community where folks can genuinely share. And that's why it's not a public group, right? It's still a private group, but you still can. And so you have to be a gym owner in order to be able to get access to that and be able to have those genuine conversations. And you're going to see a lot of people that's usually the best place to start, because you can start to see what a community starts to look like of folks that are wanting to do better and the folks that are having success, keeping their identities, keeping their ethos, really keeping their origin story strong of why. And now we kind of take care of the other intangible piece, which is like, hey, this is the piece where I've never been able to kind of make money, or your offers were just wrong. They were off. How you were trying to go about it. You were trying to compete with the big box gym that was in your area, and they're just playing a different game than you. People that are offering things for free, and they can literally exist and run their business at a loss for years.
For the sake of the market share. That's why that Facebook group is very important. Is you're going to get in there and you're going to start to see and converse amongst people who are there with the same ethics as you, who are aligned really on the principles of service and doing a good job, who are just getting to the point now where I want success in a metric that's beyond just results for my clients. It needs to be results for me and my family and my legacy. That's my metric of success has changed, right? Well, if you have any questions, reach out to me, reach out to John. You can find us both at Instagram at Tyler F. and Stone, at JBanksFL, or also at the Gym Owners Podcast, the Instagram. Message. Do you have an email if anyone?
The info@hackyourgym.com.
info@hackyourgym.com. So if you have any questions, we're happy to answer questions that way. So get in that Facebook group, give us a follow, and let's fucking start making your business work for you a little bit.
Sweet.
Yeah.